Welcome, you guys. This is Monty, owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment, a surveillance and security equipment company. We sell all sorts of spy gadgets and spy products, counter surveillance and surveillance. This video is not about the company or the products, but it is about what the title implies: optimizing your health and increasing your motivation. And one of the reasons why I like to make these videos while I'm walking, this is my typical 5-mile walk, for instance, and as you can tell, it's a nice, bright, sunshiny day. It's like perfect weather. It could be 72 degrees, 73 degrees. I walk in a combination of shaded areas and well-lit. Hi, Carolyn. And well-lit areas. I get a chance to warm up and I get a chance to get some reprieve from the weather. Speaking of such, I wonder whether I can take a sip of water while I continue recording. You see, yeah, my wife just tuned in, nice and dry. Yep, she's right. It's nice and dry out here, which is fine. Got to stay hydrated when you're walking, that's for sure. Otherwise you'll get the cramps or something, or if you don't pass out if you're not lucky. But yeah, this particular session, what I'm trying to do here is I learn a whole lot about various ways of optimizing my health and increasing my stamina, my endurance. I'm a big fan of studying natural, organic, holistic medicines and solutions. Everything from Ayurvedic medicine to homeopathic, you name it. I'm a big fan of that. We actually dropped out of the medical community when we canceled Kaiser Insurance. Kaiser is a major medical provider, for those of you who don't know, particularly in California, and we had participated in their plans for 20 years at least, and at some point we kept practicing good medicine according to good nutrition and diet and exercise according to Kaiser, but they kept raising our premiums, so we decided, you know what, if you keep raising our premiums and causing us to subsidize the unhealthy people, the smokers, the obese people, the people who are just too stupid and lazy to improve their livelihoods, then what's the purpose? We don't need to pay for those people. We would rather get some incentive. Reduce my rates, give me some rewards, give me something, for being healthy. After year, after pleading with them, they wouldn't do anything to help us out. Even though we're only using Kaiser Permanente for checkups and physicals and preventative measures. So it's not as if we were visiting their hospital as such on a regular basis, as far as, needing to get things done with them or something, having something fixed or your surgeries or anything like that. We were just basically doing preventative maintenance, getting tests for this to make sure that the blood level, the triglyceride sugar levels, and all those things were maintained and in good working order. So anyway, preventative measures with Kaiser Permanente wasn't working, and they kept raising our rates. So we canceled it, opted out of it, and now we're on our own. Now, a lot of you may say, well, that's too dangerous. What if something happens? Well, there's always a trade-off in life. But remember, those guys make shitloads of money. The Kaisers, the Blue Cross, the Blue Shields of the world, they make more money by convincing us that there's a problem that we can't obviously figure out a solution to on our own. In other words, heaven forbid, mankind should figure out how to eat right, how to exercise right, how to adopt a lifestyle that actually allows you to optimize your health, okay, as compared to what those guys are recommending. You know, chemotherapies for those who don't really need it, surgeries for those who perhaps the surgery is not even required. So I was reading today, and I sent the article on my Facebook and my Google Hangouts and my LinkedIn and Twitter and everywhere, talking about doctors or the medical community finally admitting that a lot of the chemotherapies, a lot of the surgeries associated with treating cancer was unnecessary and did absolutely nothing for the patients. Now, a lot of people died as a result of the side effects associated with chemotherapies and the surgeries. A lot of the surgeries actually made the situation worse, because, you know, as you know as well as I do, when you treat symptoms as compared to getting to the bottom line of the cause of the problem, then that's what happens. You know, if you're not careful, you'll be broken, you'll end up dead, while these guys play around with treating symptoms. So again, the natural holistic approach has more to do with hi Carl. Carl is another loyal Facebook follower. He's always looking at the videos and acknowledging them and liking them and all that. I appreciate it very much. Hi Carl. Getting back to where we were, the idea that we can't address these issues ourselves is completely absurd. When you study, you know, Ayurvedic medicine, when you study holistic medicine, when you study organic solutions, you'll find that a lot of the nutrients, a lot of the things that our bodies need can be derived from the plants and the vegetation and the fruits and different things. And we don't have to rely upon pharmaceuticals, because when you start to rely too much on pharmaceuticals, what happens is your receptors on your cell membranes start to shut down, and they work less efficiently, so that the next time it's time to produce something natural that your body would ordinarily produce, guess what happens? Now your body is less efficient, because it's saying, look, you gave me this artificial external source of whatever it was that I needed, so now I don't have to produce as much. So you become addicted, and you actually go through withdrawals a lot of times, particularly in the case of the opioids and stuff like that. So if you're not careful, you'll do more damage to your body. Not that we shouldn't supplement with vitamins and stuff like that, because unfortunately, it's been proven that supplements do play a vital role in bringing up deficiencies in us. If you don't have enough iodine or salt, if you don't have enough magnesium, if you don't have enough potassium, then you got to supplement, because you know as well as I do, again, that the farming community is not doing us any favors in terms of making sure that we have nutrients, the proper level of nutrients in the vegetables and the fruits that are coming from the farming community. So when you have the topsoil, for the most part in the United States and different places around the world, when the topsoil is actually depleted from having nutrients due to poor farming practices, that's what happens. You get less nutrients. The food may look good. It may be nice red apples. It may be deep green grapes or something, but the nutrient levels a lot of times is lacking in a major way. So you may have to rely upon nutrients and such. So the supplements do play a critical role, and I don't think we need to argue or debate the fact that until you get your nutrient levels up, then you're not gonna have the optimized health that you're looking for. And I'm learning a lot about a number of different things, and hopefully I'm not rambling too much, but one of the things that I'm learning that I want to pass on to you guys, because I make a lot of videos about very specific subjects, and a lot of these overlap. They should overlap, and I should try to include as much as I can by including a number of different things into one video, for instance. Let's take a look at what I've learned about stressors. Stressors are actually something that the immune systems of our bodies actually are willing and able to and actually want as part of the optimization process. In other words, let me explain. When you have regular stress in your life by way of, well, let's go back. If you have chronic stress, as I mentioned before in another video, that could be harmful. If the boss or their children or the job or whatever it is, if that's causing chronic stress, that could be a negative. Okay, that's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is stressors that are occasionally introduced and hopefully on a regular basis for the sake of optimizing our health. Now, let me be more specific. When you go into the gym, you work out for 45 minutes. That's a form of stress. Your body is undergoing an additional workload for 45 minutes and you have to exert a certain amount of energy. Well, believe it or not, that is a good stressor. That's causing your body to produce more mitochondria, more oxygen, and while strengthening muscles, while enhancing your cardiovascular system, while making sure that those blood vessels and everything are dilating, that heart is pumping vigorously, so your body is heating up to a good level, a good temperature even, and that's causing dilation of blood vessels and such, and that's also causing something associated with what is it? Well, I can't remember exactly the word I'm looking for right now, but when you expose yourself to heat, for instance, either by working out or going into the sauna, what happens is your body starts to produce more mitochondria, for instance, and also at the same time, it's preparing itself for that type of stressor. In other words, the more you do things like this, the more your body is able to adapt to it. Okay? So the next time you work out in the gym, guess what's going to happen? You won't have as difficult of a time breathing, exercising, maintaining that pace. And subsequent trips to the gym, subsequent trips to the sauna will actually benefit you even more because your body is adapting to, for instance, the additional heat in the sauna. And I made videos about sauna and the health benefits of that. You may want to look at my YouTube channel and see for yourself some of the experts, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Dr. Mercola, a number of these very prominent people in the medical community who look at, they also look at holistic and natural. So you want to take advantage of that. Homeopathic is one of the areas, also one of the areas that they frequently discuss. These are top-notch, world-renowned people, so you may want to follow them and like them or whatever you need to do so you can be kept aware. So anyway, we're talking about stressors. Heat is a good one. Cold or cryotherapy is another one. People who regularly expose themselves to cryotherapy, either through actually going into a a chamber where they get exposed to I think it's 150 to 200 or something degrees Fahrenheit. Below 0 Fahrenheit. Temperature is extremely cold. Guess what? That activates certain genes, that activates certain proteins, that boosts our immune system. See, our immune systems weren't meant to be in a very moderate zone for the most part. It likes exposure to stressors like this. It likes extremes, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's vigorous exercise. Nutritional stressors, as a matter of fact, are something a lot of people in the medical community are just finding out about. What happens when you do intermittent fasting? That means basically taking a day off from eating, taking 2 days off, or time restricted fasting, I think, where you basically stop eating for 10, 12 hours and you don't eat anything for after that period, and you give your body time to adjust to not eating and just processing the food that you've already taken in. In other words, when you're sleeping at night, at a certain point, even before you go to sleep, your body needs to not have additional food in there because it needs that energy to digest the food that you've already eaten. So hopefully a couple of hours before you sleep or something, you stop eating entirely and let your metabolism process those nutrients in that food while you're sleeping. Okay, if you're not careful and you eat snacks right before bed, that's going to throw off your circadian rhythm and a lot of the biological functions that have been designed through evolution for millions of years to not eat. Way back when we were hunter-gatherers, we didn't snack after the initial hunt. You basically didn't eat for a while and your body processed. So unfortunately, for better or for worse, we are designed to not eat all the time around the clock, and you want to give your cells and give your metabolism an opportunity to scour through fatty tissue and such, break down fatty tissue, break down toxins, get it out of your body. Cancer actually starves itself to death or your body starves cancer to death when two things. When there's a high alkalinity environment, in other words, if the alkaline level is high enough, cancer has a very difficult time thriving in that environment. And but a lot of you guys, you have a very acidic environment in your bodies because you're drinking too many sodas, you're eating too much red meat, you got too much stress going on in your lives, and that produces a very acidic environment. So you want to switch over to a highly alkaline environment. Get your $5 or $6 test strips, and it measures your pH level. You want that pH level to be, I think, as close as to 8.5, 9 on that color scale on the strips, with the strips. So the alkaline is good for you, high alkalinity for your bodies. And getting back to what your body, the environment your body prefers to operate in, that's gonna allow you to recuperate, particularly when you sleep. So you're processing the food that you've eaten, hopefully 2 hours before bedtime or something, and your fatty tissue is your body is scouring the fatty tissues, getting rid of the toxins and the poisons and the different things that it doesn't recognize, because your body is storing that foreign, poisonous, toxic material, for instance, in fatty tissue. So when you're fasting, whether it's intermittent or time restricted, that's what's going to happen. Your body's going to look to those fatty tissues, and it's going to break down what's in the fatty tissues, the toxins and the poisons and all of that shit. So the parabens is an industrial toxic type of poison that we all need to get out of our homes and our offices and such. Parabens, sulfates, they're used as filler and fluff in a lot of detergents, a lot of the cosmetics, even some food. A lot of foods have parabens and sulfates and sulfites in them. So just make sure that get them out of there. So yeah, optimizing your health is very important. And for motivation, remember to if you want to stay motivated, you want to be in a proper state of mind. So all of this is linked up, basically. The better you handle stress, the longer your telomeres will be. Telomeres are something you may want to look into. They're basically a shoestring-like piece of genetic material that the longer they are, the more healthy you're going to be, the better you're going to age. The shorter they are, the more likely you're going to suffer from age-related diseases and die prematurely. So study telomere length. Make sure that you do everything possible to keep your telomeres as long as possible in good health and condition. Okay? Get C-reactive protein tests from your doctors or your hospitals. However you can get it, get your hands on that test. Make sure your C-reactive protein levels are high or where they're supposed to be. And also, for motivation, just keep in mind that you imagine yourself where you want to be in the future or something. Okay, if you want to be financially independent, if you want to have optimal health, try and envision what that person looks like in the future, or even in another world or something, whatever you want to call it. But if you can imagine it, if you can envision it using your imagination, you can bring that forth into the current reality. In other words, a lot of times we depict things in our heads in terms of what this should look like, what I should look like in the gym, what I should look like if I got a makeover, what I should look like after surgery. Who knows? Just imagine whatever. Okay? If that vision, if it becomes clear enough in your imagination, you can bring that forward into the current reality. So this is something a lot of people in the gym, including Arnold Schwarzenegger, talks about a lot of times. The gym, for instance, using the same technique, you're basically visualizing muscles that are bigger, muscles that are more well-defined, bigger biceps, bigger triceps or something. If you can imagine that, a lot of times what happens is you start to concentrate more on that particular area. Okay, the same thing applies in your life. Imagine yourself as a successful business person, as a successful wife, husband, or something, homemaker, whatever it is, and try to bring that forward into reality. And what will happen is, over time, you'll be motivated when you get out of bed. And usually what happens is that energy level will be higher because you will be motivated to go towards that goal that you set for yourself. So when and see, what you guys don't know is a lot of successful people, they don't crawl out of bed, they hop out of bed. Okay, they can't wait to get up and get started and start striving towards their goals in life. In other words, when you get out of bed, you already know that you're going to hit the ground running, and you're going to dive right into making the reality that you depicted in your imagination. You're going to strive towards making that a reality and the present. So stay conscious of this. That that's where you get your energy from, by imagining what you're evolving into. Whether it has to do with your health, whether it has to do with your diet, nutrition, whether it has to do with the way you look, or the way you're going to run your family or run your business. It doesn't matter. Bring that forward into reality. Use that energy when you get out of bed to keep you motivated, so you jump out of bed. You don't want to just dread getting up in the morning. You always want to be motivated by your goals and objectives. Okay? Something that I learned a long time ago. Wealthy people, successful people, for instance, they look forward to the challenges on a daily basis, and they turn negative stress into positive stress. In other words, it's hard to counter or keep a successful person in a negative space, because they're always looking for the silver lining, not the black cloud, not other pessimistic, miserable people to hang out with. They're looking for the silver lining. They're looking for highly motivated. They're looking for go-getters that are going to also strive towards their goals with a passion. It makes all the difference in the world. Striving towards your goals with a passion. When you think it's time to let up off the gas, it's not actually time to let up off the gas. It's time to press on the gas even more. Go towards your goals with even more vigor, even more zest than the average. Because see, I'll give you guys a bit of inside information. A lot of people do not understand that the masses are usually going in the wrong direction. They're usually doing the opposite of what they should do. So whatever the masses or whatever the larger group of people are doing, try to do the opposite. Okay, you'll be more successful. You'll be more happier, more healthy, better results physically in the gym or whatever it is. If you are a contrarian as far as that's concerned, do the opposite of what the losers are doing. And I don't mean to belittle people, but we have to make a distinction sometimes. Losers are going to be complacent. The losers are going to want to settle. The losers are going to want to compromise. Okay, the winners are going to want to get up earlier, go to bed later, put in more time, put in more effort to get that job done, to get towards those goals, reap those rewards, reap those benefits, live a longer, happier, more prosperous life. In other words, every day you want to say to yourself, you know, if I can expand and expound on my goals and what I accomplished yesterday, I'll be better off tomorrow, right? So yeah, build upon your momentum, stay motivated, stay focused, optimize your health, stay away from conventional medicine, stay away from losers and complacent people who aren't motivated, and let's see if we can all move towards our goals at a more vigorous pace than ever before, okay? So I think I've taken a lot of time, hopefully giving you guys just a few pointers. I know it's a lot of information, but we want to try and cover as many different areas as we can while I conclude my 5-mile walk, okay? So anyway, we'll talk later. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.